Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Tuesday, April 16th. It is 6:21 right now. Market's gonna open in about 9 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and set up this room real quick and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. Just got a couple of things here to update. And we should be good to go. All right. Looks like we are good. We get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. There we go. All right. As people join in, I'm going to go ahead and start market liquidity over here. Starting off with the daily time frame. Going down to the 8-hour. Going down to the 4-hour. Down to the 2-hour. Down to the 1-hour. Down to the 30-minute. Down to the 15-minute. Down to the 10-minute. And it looks like we're good to go. All right, guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Tuesday, April 16th. It is 6:24 right now. Market's going to open in about 6 minutes. I've marked up pretty much all levels of liquidity closest to current price. The closest level below is going to be at 38,155, and the closest level above is going to be at 38,284. Those are the two closest levels of liquidity. Going over to our clean chart, I'm going to mark up 6:30. 8 o'clock, I'm going to go up to the 4-hour time frame, identify structure. So we've got structure up here, structure up here. And structure down here. Going down to the 1-hour time frame. We've got structure right there. There. Structure that's kind of just spaced out all over the place. There's this structure here, which is sort of pending. I mean, I'll change it if we need to, but for the most part, I'll leave it as is. So there goes the current structure right now. This would be the 1-hour resistance level. And this would be the 4-hour support level. So looking at this here, we've marked up liquidity. If you guys are just joining in, again, there's liquidity marked up right here. Closest level below is going to be at 38,155. And the closest level above is going to be at 38,284. Over here on our clean chart, we've marked up the 1-hour resistance level, which price is currently rejecting off. And we have the 4-hour support level down below. Looking over here at the BB3 chart, let's see, we don't have any double body, double wicks right now, so we'll come back and take a look at that a little later. Looking over here at the PRB chart, we currently have a bearish trend, so we might be looking for a sell here. We have some time until open, about 4 minutes. We got a lot of time until then. A lot can change, so we'll see what happens when the market actually opens. But for right now, we're leaning towards a possible sell. Looking over here at our main chart. So I'm not sure if this divergence down here is like kind of distracting for you guys. If you guys want me to take it off, just let me know. I'm just going to be testing, or I'm going to be looking at possible entries using this this strategy down here. So if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, I recommend you go back and review yesterday's mentoring session. I went over the strategy in detail. It's not something that I'm going to be applying just yet, but I want to show you guys some examples real time, if and when they come up, and it can be used as a confluence as well. So I'll show you guys that if and when it comes up and how we can use this as a confluence. But if it does bother you guys and if it takes up too much space, just let me know and I'll take it off the chart. Because it's not necessary right now, since it's not something that we're specifically looking to apply. From this morning, we had a couple of news events. We had a news event at 5:30, a news event at 5:55, and 6 and 6:15. Mainly, so 5:30, 5:55, and 6:15 are the main ones. I'll mark that up first. So 5:30, 5:55, 6:15, which would be right here. It's a big candle. 5:30, 5:55, and 6:15. All right, so all the red flags are on this area right here. And that looks like about it. So let me show you a quick example of an entry that came up right here pre-market. So you can see over here, we had a buy signal that came up. We had a bullish trend that started to shift over here. And you can see down here that the divergence was bullish. It's bullish whenever the green divergence is above, and it's bearish whenever the red divergence is above. So with that said, right here, you can see the divergence was bullish. The trend here was bullish. It's starting to shift up. You can see how price retraced right here slightly. And you can see how the red divergence crossed over. And then when you see right here, the green divergence correct back to the upside, right there, this is where the entry would have been taken if you were applying this Kodi Kai divergence strategy. So I'm showing you a quick example of like how this would come up. You'd set it up for 1025, and you can see right there, price pushes up to full TP. So that's kind of what I'm going to be showing you guys during the live session if it does come up. I just want to see how it plays out real time. But again, if this divergence down here is distracting to you, just let me know and I'll take it off the chart. So market is about to open, guys. Morning, Jacob. Morning, Sadie. Morning, Daniel. Morning, Rashida. The liquidity is over here at 38,155, and the level above is going to be at 38,284. So there's the two closest levels of liquidity right there. Market is now open. I'm going to mark this up as opening price. Got that down right there. Mark it up right here as well. All right, we got opening price marked up pretty much everywhere. For the PRB over here, there's no trend, so there's no entry that's setting up just yet. Looking over here at the BB3, there's nothing here yet either. Here is our main chart. You can see prices rejecting directly off news price from earlier this morning. It's having trouble getting past these pink lines right here. Yeah, like Nick said, there's a lot of red flags in this area. So it's going to chill, wait for the market to stabilize a little bit. Once it stabilizes, we'll start looking for some entries here. So price starts to drop any further. The bearish trend is going to confirm here. The trend was already bearish pre-market. It started to shift here as we got closer to open. Once market opened right here, you can see price is now starting to become bearish again. So if that's the case, a sell entry might be setting up over here for the PRB. Otherwise, there's nothing else here that's available at this very moment. You can see over here that price is having trouble getting past this news price as well. And again, this is another example of why we avoid these red flags, because manipulation happens around these points. And you can see right there, price is rejecting directly off it. So we'll just give it some time here to kind of smoothing out a bit. So we do have the bearish trend here. We might be looking for a sell here for the PRB. There's no rejection off the pivots yet, so it hasn't started to set up. We'll be looking for that first rejection off the pivot. Once we have that, we'll start looking for the next setup. Liquidity hasn't gotten hit yet. Got pretty close to it, but not yet. Here's our clean chart. I'll come back to this a little later once the market has kind of established where the high lows are at. Looks like this might be where the lower low is going to be established as the floor for now. And price will probably climb right back up. We do have a reversal pattern down here. Looks like we might be shifting to a bullish move. About 16 points from here until the open. Push about 9 points. All right, so it looks like price is probably going to consolidate between the news price right here. It's kind of expected. This is basically what happened yesterday. Lots of consolidation, lots of sideways movement. We got sorry guys, 1 second. Yeah, so we pretty much got this type of movement yesterday. So it's not really much of a surprise. And we'll see if it starts to actually move. So we got an update from CNBC right here. Said Dow jumps 200 points, looks to snap 6-day losing streak after strong earnings. And that's why price is coming right back down. So the Dow's up 200 points. And of course, as soon as they said that, price came down. Drew said everyone's probably waiting for Moses Powell to speak. Is Powell speaking today? He is speaking today. Okay. So he's speaking at 10:15. Yeah. Market might be a bit sideways today until Powell speaks, which is pretty much anticipated. It's normal. I don't think there's any other news today aside from Powell. Powell's pretty much the main thing, main course for today. So, I mean, we'll see. We're not going to force any trades here, but if we see something good, then obviously we'll try to take it. If not, we're not going to force anything here. I mean, price is in between a lot of red flags anyway, so if anything, we would have to wait for price to drop down a bit further. The good thing is that the next session is pretty far down. So if it continues to drop, then we have some space here. And if it climbs up, we might have some space right here as well before it gets to the next sessions. So we just got to sit tight, wait a little bit. Eventually our time will come and we just got to be ready to execute when that time does happen. So looking over here at the PRB, guys, we do have it setting up. It's not ready yet, but it is setting up. We have the rejections off the pivots right there. This candle right here looks like it can be the space consolidation candle. And if that's the case, then we'll just look for price to retrace back up, bounce off the pivot, come right back down. The only problem is that price is having trouble getting past news price right here. So this might be, an obstacle that price needs to get past eventually once it comes back down to the PRB. But, again, we'll just have to see. All right, so we got price again right here having trouble getting past the news price. You can see where the pink line is. It's not having much luck. So this here is starting to set up for the PRB. We have the rejections, we have the space, we have price retracing back up. We'll look for it to push back down, but again, this here has not set up just yet. There's no double body, double wicks. There's nothing there for the breakout V3. Here's a clean chart as price attempts to make its way down a little lower. But once we have that lower low established and the higher high established, I'll mark up structure on the clean chart. And then from there, you can see where the range is actually happening. So the range has not been established yet. I mean, it's pretty clear where it's going to establish. I think it's going to establish somewhere in between. I think the news price will probably be in between, and then we'll have the lower low down here, the higher high somewhere around this area. It's just a matter of time until it starts to establish. But there's no entries here right now. The good thing is that there's no news coming up, so we're kind of just going through the motions, waiting until the trend here is confirmed and the direction's been confirmed. Once we have that, we can probably start to hop into something if something does come up. We may have a MPS setting up soon. Let me measure this to see how far, if it's too overextended or not. So it's not too overextended yet, but it is getting there. Looks like liquidity just got hit. Thanks, Sadie, for the heads up. Liquidity down there just got hit, guys. So if you guys took that first level of liquidity, straight to full TP right there. Looks like Tom got it, Sadie got it, a couple people got it. Nice work right there, guys, catching that liquidity. All right, so let's see, there's no PRB yet. Price has not retraced up. If it drops to 150 points, then I'm going to consider that overextended. Otherwise, we might have a setup here for a MPS lining up sometime soon. It's not there yet, but could be lining up sometime soon here. Got the levels marked up. No PRB, no BB3. So there may be no, these candles are too blocky. Okay, so I didn't close green yet, so there's no MPS yet. But you guys can see how blocked these candles are right now, slightly. Let me measure it again. It's not super overextended yet. The candles are moving a little heavier. So there may be an NPS right here at the 50 level, or the 6 or the 40. Possibly at the 50, it's looking like. Or not. I mean, the candles are spiking around pretty quickly. Wait for this here to close. And again, it's not looking like it's going to close. All right, so this is really tricky right now, how the candles are currently moving. You might want to be careful with this NPS. I mean, might even want to skip it because you guys can see that these candles are changing at the very last second. It looked like to the very last 5 seconds, it was going to close up here at the 50 mark, and then it just dropped right back down. So yeah, probably just want to be a little careful. I think it's starting to be a little bit more overextended. So this might be one that I'm probably going to skip. Yeah. So if it drops any lower, I'm probably going to skip this here because it's getting to the overextension point. It's not there yet, but it's almost there. So if it drops any lower, I'm just going to sit out off this MPS. Probably wait for the next one. All right, let's see. Yeah, it's kind of tricky. It's getting to that point. So whenever it gets past this 150, or if it gets close to it, that's going to be kind of like the threshold where I'm going to be considering it overextended. See, we got about 30 seconds left on this candle. Still in a retracement. So the next level would be right there at the 10, it looks like, possibly. Maybe even higher. See if I get it at the 10 still. No,
Order submitted.
and then cancel it. I couldn't get in, guys. It was just, it didn't close at the right time. Just canceled it. So unfortunately, the MPS here, it's moving a little tricky. Nice, Daniel actually got into it. I was waiting for it and it just didn't, it didn't set up the way I was looking for it to. So it's all good. Yeah, so the MPS is right there. I was hoping to get into it. I was just waiting for it to close, and then it didn't end up closing the way I wanted it to. Yeah, but nice work, guys, catching it. So yeah, it looks like Maddie got it, Daniel got it, a couple other people caught it. I missed it myself, but it's all good. So there goes one MPS right there. I was hoping to, you guys heard my thing, it flipped because I tried to get into it, but unfortunately I wasn't able to. There's another entry right here. This is the entry that I was just talking about earlier, guys. This is the entry for the divergence. I should have just taken this here as a late entry, but it's okay. I'm not going to funnel into this. So this is what I was talking about earlier. We have a sell signal, bearish trend. You can see how the divergence here was bearish. You can see how this green one over here ended up swinging back up. That's a little bit. It's swung up right here a little bit, and then it came right back down here when it spread out into a bearish divergence. So this would have been another entry for the Kodi Kai divergence, momentum divergence right here, and another full TP right there. So they'd be back-to-back full TPs. That's kind of what's good about the strategy, is that they kind of line up right after each other. So if you guys want to look at this and understand how the strategy is applied, review the mentoring session from yesterday. I went over it in detail. I'll keep reviewing it over the next couple mentoring sessions because I still need to put criteria together for it, but it's a very simple strategy. So there goes another entry that was right there. Daniel said, are we able to pull that indicator? Not yet, because the indicator is not published yet. I still got to figure out the parameters. So I'm still changing around the parameters here, because if you go to the default settings, it's like super choppy, but I'm trying to smoothen it out. So I'm trying to find that sweet spot. I think this is the sweet spot for the parameters, but I need to keep playing with it because it's not something I've tested real time in a while. Yeah, I know it's hard because it's so small. Yeah, once you guys have the actual indicator, you're going to see it's so much easier to see. I'll try to get that out to you guys, as soon as possible once we have enough testing done. But it is super, super simple to use. Yeah, I could probably scale it over here, but it's not going to be. So see what happens when you scale it, Tom? You can't see it anymore. Yeah, you can't see it anymore. Because if I put this to not auto, it's not going to follow it. Yeah, but then I'm going to have to keep scaling it. That's the thing, Tom. Like, see how I'm moving it now? It's not going to stay there. So if this moves up, I'm going to have to scale it again. So that's another thing I have to work with the indicator. I need to figure out a way to scale it so that it automatically scales where it's not. But it looks fine on my chart. I can see it perfectly fine. It's just, it's for you guys who are looking at it on the Zoom. So whoever does have the indicators, it's going to be beneficial to you, not necessarily beneficial to people who are just watching live. But for people who do have indicators, you'll be able to kind of mess around with it. But if I do scale it, I have to do everything manually. The chart's not going to look good up here. It's either going to look good here. It's not. You're barely going to be able to see the lines down here. All right, so we got price continuing to push along. We don't have a CD entry here. It's looking like it might have set up there, or it could have set up, but not yet. So we were looking for a high candle with a high green candle, and then a following red candle that was smaller, but we just didn't have that there yet. There's no other entries here available. There's no breakout V3 continuation because we already have a sell signal here. There's no other momentum pullback scalp because we already had one right here. The only thing that we can possibly look for would be a CB entry. And that'd be the key thing to kind of focus on here. If price continues to drop down lower, we have this as a lower low. And I'll mark this up over here as the 1 minute support level. So we got that right there as the 1 minute support level. We don't have a 1 minute resistance yet. But we'll see here as price continues to, obviously move along. If this candle breaks and closes past the sorry guys, I just realized the PRB came up already. So price retraced up right here. It rejected off this pivot. This was the PRB. It looks like it was already a full TP. Yeah. So the PRB actually hit full TP right there already. Totally missed it. This right here could be a high-low scalp, depending on, if you guys are looking to take it. I think I'll probably take this high-low scalp here. It breaks and closes below it. Because it looks like, I think this here could be a good high-low scalp. Because it's also going to line up with the divergence down here. Let's see. See if I can get into this high-low scalp right here. See if I can put my pending order down there. See what's out of it. All right, so I got into that high-low scalp right there. I don't know why my thing didn't make any noise. Did you guys hear it?
Order filled.
There we go. What the fuck? Super laggy. I don't know what's up with the Ninja Trader. Yeah, so I got into this high-low scalp right here. So this is the thing that I've noticed with these high-low scalps, guys, is, and I know I haven't taken this in a while, but the thing that I've noticed with these high-low scalps is that, and you guys heard it said order filled. I had to pull out early because I don't think my entry was super great. But once it TP right there, I just pulled out. But yeah, so for this right here, when I see a high-low scalp that happens when prices consolidating like this right here, it typically is going to hit. So that's why I decided to take it. I usually don't take high-low scalps, but high-low scalps are good strategies. And I mean, it just looked like a great entry there. So that's why I took it. So let me just go over here real quick. I'm going to take a screenshot of this entry from earlier. Looks like a lot of you guys here caught it with me. You guys will see a lot of these entries are going to come up, especially for these scalps here. So this is a momentum pullback scalp that came up right there. And then again, right here. I'll just move this line over real quick. Yeah, I don't know why Ninja Trader lags like that sometimes, but it's kind of annoying when it does that. So let me just go over here real quick, take a screenshot of this so that you guys can see which entries I took here and which entries we identified here in the live session. So nice, Nick got it, Sadie got it. I'm not sure if anybody else caught it, but a decent amount of people here caught this high-low scalp right here as well. There was just a lot of confluences on that entry. Also, we had the crossover right there as well from the divergence. So I'm saying, like I said before, guys, this divergence indicator is going to be super useful because you guys can kind of see where price is going to likely continue in a certain direction. So let me put this down right here. This was for a high-low scalp. I know we haven't taken this in a while. Some of you guys have been taking it. I think Maddie's like one of the guys who still takes it a lot. And a couple other people in the group. The high-low scalp is probably one of the really good strategies when the market's moving directional. Right now, market's actually going sideways. So at this point, I think the high-low scalp is probably something that should be avoided because now you can see that the market is going sideways. Originally, it looked like price was going to continue dropping because you can see the market structure here. Price came down, retraced, broke structure, and then if it continued to drop lower, then okay, great. Price would continue moving in that direction, right? But in this situation right here, price is now consolidating. So with that said, it's probably best to kind of sit tight and just like wait for like maybe a CV entry or something like that, because that's typically works good in a sideways market. So you guys will see my profits over here. I kind of don't like how NinjaTrader is kind of laggy when the notifications come up sometimes, but I mean, we just got to work with it. It's probably just laggy because I'm taking so many trades at once, of course. But it's okay. I mean, it does its job. All right, so we'll continue looking for another opportunity here. This could be a possible CV entry, but it's a little, oh, I missed it. This was a CV entry right here, guys. It was too close. So these candles right here weren't like super obvious. Like we would need this to be like really big and this to be really small. And you can see it looks like it did hit TP right there. Did you catch that, Nick? I know you were probably looking for it. Yeah, it went straight to full TP right there. It was too close. So this is an example of a CV entry, but this is one that's just way too close because typically you want this candle to be really big and you want this one to be really small. This one over here, it's kind of small and this was like a little bit smaller, but then it ended up closing like super last second. So I'm not going to count that one. That one's just a little too tight. It's not one that I would have taken myself. Nice. So Oscar over here caught it. Solid. So it's good. You guys can see here that there's a lot of entries that will come up. This is why it's better that we kind of shifted back to our original way of trading scalping, because you'll see like multiple entries come up, like 3 entries have come up right here. You'd make more from scalping and less risk versus taking, the breakout V3 by itself and then possibly getting wiped out on one trade. Sadie said, Oscar, you deserve an Oscar. Yeah, no, definitely. Oscar said he was watching the whole time. Yeah, and that's key. So when you guys are looking for these CV entries, you have to focus because these entries will come up super quickly. It's either you make it or you don't. But if you don't make it, don't FOMO into the trade. So like for me, for example, I could have FOMO'd into this trade. I could have easily just like took a market order if I wanted to, but I didn't because I know I missed the trade. And it's okay because more trades are going to happen. It's not like this is the last time the entry is going to come up. It's going to come up again. It's just a matter of time until it does, and a matter of if when. So here are my profits for the day so far. I locked in 140 on my personal account, and then I locked in 600. I got some slippage here. Well, not really slippage. I just pulled out early. I was supposed to make 1,000, but I didn't want to hold on to it because it hit TP on TradingView. I just got in at bad entry time. So 600 times 20, 12,000 plus 140. Up 12,100, 12,140 so far. So continue looking for some more entries here. We now have a retracement. We have a range right here now where price is currently moving. So we have the low right here. Let me just mark this up down at this lower end. There. Let's see. Nick said, looks for the sell signal. Look for the sell signal if it comes. Yeah, and the sessions as well. All right, so we got the retracement back up right here, which is completely fine. I mean, that's the case. If that's the case, then we'll just watch it as it continues to push up from here. We still have a bearish trend, so price might be coming back down. But if not, we'll watch it for it to push back to open. So there's two different target price points here. One thing, this is one scenario. One scenario is price continues to push up and it pushes up to the opening price. That's scenario number one. Scenario number two is price rejects off pivot 4 over here and comes back down. Two different scenarios right there. As we continue to, obviously follow along with this here. All right, guys, so let's just review everything again. So for today so far, we had a liquidity push that happened right here. That was a full TP. Looking over here at the PRB, we had a PRB that came up over here. Market opened at 630, price rejected off the pivots here. We had a bunch of space consolidation candles around this area. Price rejected up to this red candle right here. This red candle rejected off the pivots, and that was the PRB entry. So this was a PRB for a full TP. Going over to our main chart, we had a couple entries come up here. We had a momentum pullback scalp that came up at this point. Price retraced down, or price pushed down. This green candle retraced up at the 10 level. The entry happened right there, full TP. Price came back down lower. We had a high-low scalp right here. It was in confluence with a divergence right here, the momentum divergence. And it just looked like an all-around good entry. So this right here was a high-low scalp, full TP on this one as well. And here we go as we wait for another entry. So far we've had about 4 entries for the day. We had one liquidity push, one PRB, and 2 scalps right here. There's technically 3 scalps. There was a CV entry that came up right here as well. And I'll mark that up so that you guys can see it. It's not showing right now because the level adjusted, but there was a CV entry right here because this was a high with the green candle. Actually, it was a double body. And then this here was a smaller candle next to it. And of course, you can see right there, hit full TP. So if you wanted to pretty much calculate all the trades that came up today, we had about 5 entries that came up, all full TPs, no losses for the day so far. So you guys can see how lucrative these scalping possibilities can be, especially if you know all the strategies. It's just a matter of watching the chart, because once you know the strategies, you're just looking for the setups. And the setups will just continue to repeat themselves. So if you guys miss a trade, that's completely fine. It's okay with missing a trade. We have another CD that's possibly setting up right here, but the candle's too small, so probably not going to happen. See, question from a Doomdoos asking, have you noticed if there is a high percentage of pivot scalps that hit after you see a divergence in that direction? So are you saying like the momentum comes after the divergence or like before it, Madhu? I think you're asking if it happens after, right? So like prices already diverged and then you see the momentum. Gotcha. Yeah, so I haven't really looked at it personally, but I would assume if that's the case, it would work, right? So like, for example, if we get a sell signal, the divergence was already established and then it just continued to drop a little bit right here. This was pre-market, but it still would drop like 10 points. Same with this one right here. I think there was a huge retracement because this was from the opening candle, but it did end up coming back down. So, I mean, if you wanted to do like a 1-to-1 and have your stop loss at the swing high, right? You could do something like that. You have your TP stop loss set to the swing, should be up here. And then you possibly take that for like a 1-to-1. It's a bit of a bigger move, but the divergence does tend to follow through. So I haven't really tested it myself, but at some point in the future, once I release this indicator to you guys can probably take a look and see. But from your hypothesis there, I mean, it looks good, right? Like it looks like you don't even need a trend. Like looking at this right here, we had a bullish divergence. The bullish momentum came right here and the momentum pushed up. Same with this one right here. This might be another case of what we just discussed. So we already have a bearish divergence. We have a pending sell signal here. This could be another possibility of a continued push to the downside. This right here would be a breakout B3 continuation, guys. If this here closes with a red candle, this would be a breakout B3 continuation. I'll be taking this here if it closes. But it's got to close for sure. It can't be like bouncing at the last second, like how it's been closing. Like this is really tricky if it changes back and forth like that. So I'll be watching it here to see if it ends up, closing red. For sure want to make sure it closes red though. Still got 20 seconds left on this candle, so I'm not gonna get too trigger happy here. Not yet. We got 10 seconds. This is gonna be tricky because at the last second, this thing could just move. So I'm gonna watch it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm gonna take it. All right, so I'm watching it right here.
Order submitted.
Volatility is kind of slow right now. So I'm just gonna watch it. The volatility is kind of flat. I get out full TP right there. How much did I make on that? Okay, I got out of it.
Order filled.
Perfect. I got shitty exit, shitty entry, something. I don't know. My profits aren't where it should be, but whatever. Full TP right there. So yeah, I lagged on my exit too, kind of. It said I made like 700 and then it went back to 900. I don't know. But yeah, I made profit on that. You just got to be smart in a market like this because it's very tricky how the market is currently moving. It's not like blasting right through like it normally does. So nice work right there. And big thanks to Madhu for that little idea that he mentioned, because that helped us right there with our confluence. So you guys can see like there's so many entries that can come up. And then now that I have this divergence indicator, I think this thing is super, super useful, right? Madhu mentioned, he said if the pivot scalp comes up, and it's not just a pivot scalp, you can use it also with like the breakout V3. Like we had the divergence here already. We knew price was coming down because the momentum was swinging. So everything just lined up. It was like a no-brainer, right? To take the trade there. Nice, Josh said caught it, no drawdown. Yeah, my exit was lagged because I can see over here my distance to drawdown was like I'm off by like a couple bucks. But I mean, whatever, it's all good. Yeah, Madhu caught that as well and said, yeah, it looks like the pivot would have hit. Yeah, the pivot scalp would have hit here, and then also, I mean, everything else that would follow it would also hit as well, right? So another great entry right there, guys. I mean, it looks like everybody's killing it today. We've had about like I think 7 entries come up so far, and yeah, you guys are killing it. All right, guys. So let me take a screenshot of this. It's a lot of good entries that came up today. Today's a pretty good day overall. Better than I was expecting from like the market open. Market open was like kind of flat, and then start to really pick up here. Okay, so this is a breakout V3 continuation. So we got that right there. It looks like there could be an MPS, but it looks like it might be a little too close to the momentum right there, Nick. Yeah, it's a little too high. Unless it closes below here, but yeah, at this point it's too high. So the MPS here looks like it's not going to be coming up. Let me take a screenshot of my profits again. Updated profits for the day. And I'm so glad that I decided to split up the momentum indicator so that you guys can see the divergence here. Because it's super helpful. Like, like I said in the past, guys, I'm always going to be working. So I'm always working to find our edge. So that's a good thing about our community here. And like when you guys are trading with me, is that we're never going to be sitting ducks, right? A lot of people, they just stick to one strategy and they don't find their edge. Like their edge is going to die out. You guys have to understand that with the market, that your edge is not always going to be there. So you can do one of two things. You can either just wait for your edge to come back, which can come back in a couple of weeks, couple of months, maybe couple of years, or you can be assertive and you can find your edge, right? Or you could adapt your strategy slightly to adapt to the market conditions so that you have a current edge. So when you guys are trading with me, you're always going to have an edge. Like I'm never going to be sitting around just waiting for like, oh, I'll just not do anything for like the next couple of weeks. Like, nah, I'm going to find a way to make money in the market, and we'll always find ways to be profitable. So you guys don't have to worry about that. Like my goal here is to make money, right? Make money, make as much money as possible, make money as fast as possible with the least amount of work. So I'm always going to find an edge between 6:30 and 7:40. That's going to be the time where I want to trade. And I'll be studying the markets every single day, like forever, until we find that edge. Because the edge is going to come back, or we're not the edge is going to come back. We're going to adapt to the new edge, which right now I think the new edge is finding divergence. Because our strategies work fine. We just need another confluence to confirm to basically just confirm our confirmation here of the entry. So yeah, no, definitely. So it looks like Andreas over here got off for 7. Josh said, yeah, when he entered price spike down in profit, he lucked out and got in at good entry. Yeah, Casey only caught like 5 points. It's all good, guys. It's better to be smart, especially with these scalps here. It's once it hits TP on TradingView, just pull out. There's no need to get greedy because there's going to be another entry that will likely come back up. So there's no need to get greedy ever. It's, just gotta keep sticking to the game plan, and eventually you'll find another entry. It's 7:07 right now. We've had a lot of entries. It's only been like 30 minutes, but we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 entries already that have come up. Let's see. Andreas is asking at 7:05. I don't see a CV entry over here, Andreas. It has to be off a high. So there's no highs over here. So there'd be no CV entries. I mean, this is a setup. So if there was a high right here on this green candle, then yes, this would be a setup for a CV, but there's no high there. Yeah, no problem, Andreas. I know it gets exciting because you're looking for it and you're just like, you want it to come up, right? But yeah, that's the pattern. So if we had a high right here, that would be a CV entry. So good eye for that. You just need to make sure that it's a high because you don't want to just take every single time that it comes up. Basically, the CV entry is like an opposite engulfing. So a lot of people look for engulfing candles like this and see how people get screwed over because you see that how this is an engulfing for a buy, but you would have lost the trade. So you're basically looking for an opposite of engulfing. And that's our edge right there because we're doing opposite of what a lot of people tend to do. Sadie's asking, where is the possible support, Sean? It's right here at this lower low. So it's currently at the support. It's currently at the old support. And then there's also another support down here at the lower low. So we got 2 supports right there right now. Let's see. Man, a lot of action today. I was expecting it to be a slow market. So when we first got on today, I thought this market was going to be super slow. But the volatility is actually pretty decent. And you guys can see the market here is actually ranging, but we're still able to make some pretty nice plays within the range. And that's thanks to the momentum indicator down here, or the divergence, because you're able to see a lot of things that a lot of people can't. I started using divergence for like forex trades too. It's actually pretty good. It's pretty good. I've been doing divergence between like opposite pairs that move opposite of each other, and then from there you can look for another. Then this indicator comes into play, and you can kind of catch the continuations, which again is like pretty cool. All right, so yeah, Medusa, not sure what happened first or if it was at the same time, but that divergence and buy signal would have hit. Looks like it was already diverged. So if I scroll in a little bit, so like look at this right here, Medu, the divergence actually crossed over here at these red candles. Yeah, so the divergence crossed over here. So that buy signal right there actually met your criteria for what you were saying. This looks like it could be a possible CV entry, guys. It's a little tricky because of the candle size. It's like getting close to the body right here. But I'm not going to take this one here. I'm going to hold off on this one here, guys. Just for personal reasons. I think right now and it looks like this might not even close. Actually, it did close, but my trade psychology is kind of like all over the place right now because I'm looking at so many things. So I'm not going to take this because I feel like if I was to take this, this would be a FOMO move in my opinion. Because I'm just not fully prepared to take the entry. So like I said, I'm only going to take entries if I feel fully prepared about it, if I've done my analysis and I see that everything here kind of lines up. Looking down at the confluences, I don't really see the confluences in my favor. So it's not one of those entries that I feel good about. You know, if the divergence here was bearish, then yeah, okay, I probably would feel a lot better. But since it's not, I think this indicator is really going to be a big change for us. This is going to be our edge right now, especially. Not really a strategy edge, but a confluence edge. Because man, this thing is game changer. Like for example, we would have missed it. We would have see, I skipped this here because the divergence was bullish. And I already knew that, okay, this is probably not going to come down yet. But then again, I can still enter this late if I really wanted to. So like for this example right there, see, like if you entered it late, you could have waited for that divergence to shift back down if it shifted back down. But this would have prevented me from a little heart attack right now from getting kind of pulled out of this position. Not getting pulled out, but getting set into some deep drawdown, right? So I think what I'll do here is I'll keep watching it. If the divergence shifts over, then I'll get in for a late entry. So it looks like this thing's probably going to hit already. I'm not in the position. I'm not going to count it. I'm take it. So, and I said I was going to take it. So I'm not counting these trades. The only trades I count are the ones that I plan on taking, the ones I say I'm going to take, and the ones that I do actually take. This right here, I didn't plan on taking it unless I get in late. So if I get into this position late, then possibly. But so there goes the divergence starting to shift down. So this the new strategy that I was kind of, and it hit full TP already, guys. The CV hit full TP. This is the strategy that I was referring to. I'm not going to take this entry here, but again, we're going to, or this might be a good pivot scalp actually if it closes. It's got like 30 seconds left on it. So using this as an example, this is an example of the momentum divergence strategy that I was kind of referring to. If this candle here closes like as a nice red candle and this here diverges, then this is going to be considered one of those entries that I was looking out for. Does not look like it's going to happen here because it's not closing red. Yeah, so the divergence actually didn't happen right there. But like we were talking about earlier, if it comes up with a sell signal, the divergence here will probably cross. And if it crosses, it's probably going to keep going. Yeah, Josh is sitting on my hands. The rejection off the level 4 pivot concerns me. Yeah, no, and you're smart with that too, Josh. That's another confluence. Another confluence right there. That, you know, the rejections off these points, rejections on both sides. So you can see over here, prices rejecting off this pivot, and then also prices rejecting off this pivot. There's a lot of different confluences here that you guys can use. There's not one thing to really focus on. You know, you can look at the pivots, you can look at the divergence, you can look at the signals, you can look at a lot of things here. But again, so there's no divergence entry that came up because there's no crossover yet. I mean, if anything, this might be a divergence to the upside. So what you can see here is this is where the divergence can work for a buy here, possibly. So it's not there yet, but if price retraces down a little bit and comes back up, then the divergence here can kind of show you that, okay, price is likely to go in that direction. So I think the divergence is a really good confluence. I'm going to try to get this indicator out to you guys as soon as possible. I just got to get my brother to work on it. Is he here right now? Justin here? He is not here. I'll text him. Yeah, I'll see if he can help me because he's like the actual coder. I don't really know what I'm doing. I kind of just play around with the settings, but so I play around with the settings, and then once I have the perfect settings set, I have him kind of refine the indicator, and he pretty much finalizes it for us. So I think these settings are good because the default settings are like here. Let me like I'll add the default on here. So let's go to my indicators. What is this again? Momentum. divergence. Let's start next to it. There we go. So you guys see here, like if you guys compare these two, and I'll zoom in a little bit. If you guys compare these two, they kind of look similar, but you can see the top one is a lot smoother. So the top one's a lot smoother. The one over here is kind of choppy, one below. So this is what I originally started with. And then I just played with the settings a little bit to smoothen it out. So I think I have pretty good settings here. I don't know if these are the final settings, but for the most part, looks pretty smooth. So we got another strategy right there for Arsenal. I mean, basically, you guys can just use the divergence for a confluence for any entry. Because I think that thing that Madhu mentioned is like, that thing's it's pretty huge. Because you can technically trade without a trend, it looks like. It's just straight momentum. You just got to have a decent enough, you probably would have to use like some sort of risk management system. You see, because this is too far out, 75. I guess you could do like size of the candle or ATR. ATR is 27. Take the entry there, 27 works. ATR right here, 27 works. Yeah, there's a lot of different things and a lot of different ways here to use it. Okay, so you guys can see over here that if this candle closes red, the divergence here is going to shift back to the downside. It's going to shift back into bearish divergence. Okay, cool. This works. So there's two different things that can happen here. If the divergence shifts back up, so say, for example, right here, we have red over the green. If the green crosses over the red and it becomes bullish divergence again, if that's the case, then in my opinion, I think price is probably going to keep pushing up. Otherwise, we currently have a bearish divergence here. So if the sell signal comes up, you can possibly assume that price will probably drop further. I'm not going to take the trade here because the trend is not confirmed. I mean, it's kind of confirmed, but not really. You can see here it's kind of crossed over a bit. But I'm going to go over here to our clean chart and I'm going to mark up structure because we do have some new structure here. So we got the support levels down here and we have the resistance up here. Nice. All right, sell signal still hasn't closed yet. We do have the bearish divergence though. Let's see, Hawk is asking, would it be considered a lagging indicator similar to RSI or MACD? So I wouldn't say it's necessary. All indicators are laggy, but the way that I've created this divergence, this is the fastest out of all of those types of indicators. So I've done my research on this indicator. This is why our momentum signals are usually kind of on point because I figured out, like I've done a lot of research on like what's the fastest divergence type indicator that you can find or that you can put together. So I tested a bunch of different divergence tools and I put together like this kind of super tool here that moves at the pace of speed. It moves at the pace of price. So yeah, this divergence indicator that I put together, it's a double-edged sword. It's a double-edged sword because it's not laggy enough, but it's also it's good and bad. It's good because it's fast. It's bad because it's fast. Because that's why you have to use it in confluence with other things. Because the laggier indicators are better if you're using it as a later confluence. But since we're using this as an initial confluence, like say like before something else happens, it works better for us. So here's the sell signal that came up, and it looks like it's about to play through. I'm not in this position, but I just wanted to test this little theory that Madhu came up with. If the divergence is bearish and you have a sell signal, if it's going to play through. The only thing here that I would kind of be wary about is the trend, because the trend isn't bearish yet. It's shifting back to bearish, but it's not there yet. And a full TP right there. So nice work. I don't know if you took that, Madhu, but this is from your analysis right there. It actually works out really good. So yeah, I don't know if you took it, Madhu. That's all you right there, bro. Nice analysis with your little theory there. So I mean that's cool because like in this situation, if this is the case, then I mean you don't even need the trend. So I think if I was to put up some sort of strategy like well, this is already called momentum divergence. I can't call it momentum divergence, or we could call it momentum divergence V2 or something, right? Or I don't know. I've come up with something clever. Um, but basically you can possibly do it without the trend, which I think is pretty cool. Like you could do it with the trend, and that's going to be like the standalone strategy, right? And then if you want to add the trend, then there goes another confluence. So yeah, I mean we'll see. Yeah, Madhu said I wanted to, but I just noticed it earlier, so need to see it play out a few times more. Yeah, and I agree with you too, Madhu. That's the same with me. That's why I'm not really looking to take anything here yet with just divergence because I'm using this as a confluence. But I mean it's a cool little idea right there. So yeah, if you guys want to keep testing this, I mean eventually I'll try to get this indicator to you guys by this week, if not this week, by next week. I know I got some stuff coming up this week at the end of the week, so but I think it's a pretty good tool. And for me personally, since we're scalping, I'd rather know what happens earlier than later. So I think this divergence, like if you could compare these to different divergence indicators, you'll see that there's nothing like it because I basically pull this away from the momentum. This is one of the factors that I use for the momentum indicator. And I mean they're both the same. It's just that this is kind of giving you a better because now you can see where the divergence is actually happening. And this is why it works with what you said, Madhu. So like how you mentioned, like does it work if it happens before or after? That's because this this indicator, the divergence, is part of this momentum indicator. So that's why they work so well together, because it's just another factor that we put into it. So let's see. 723 right now. I'm gonna see if we could maybe find one more entry, but I mean, we'll see. It's getting closer to 740. The trend is now bearish. There's no breakout V3s for today so far. No actual breakout V3s. We had a continuation, but not an actual. Fuck, I just realized there was a continuation here. I just missed it. Did anybody take that? I don't think anyone even was paying attention to it. Oh, because there's no trend. Sorry. Never mind. I take that back. There was a sell signal and a red candle here, but there was no trend yet. So, or I mean, I guess there could have been. No. Yeah, there was no trend there yet. So it's all good. We didn't miss the breakout V3. But you can see again right here, no trend, but you had the divergence here that was already bearish. Like that's pretty crazy. I mean, it's cool because it's like you don't even need the trend. Well, you should have the trend, but it's like the trend isn't as important as it used to be because you can just go off the divergence. All right, so I'm gonna look for some retracement here and the possible continuation. Or it looks like we might have a Oh, it's too late. So there was an NPS that came up right here, guys. I don't know if you guys, there's so many entries that have been coming up today. I totally missed it. There was an NPS that happened right here at the 100 level. Did you see that, Nick? I think you missed it too, right? It happened right here. So the trend was already confirmed. So the trend had confirmed over here already with all the pivots under the red. This right here, Sadie said Oscar. He's asking Oscar if he saw it. Um, Yeah, it was like right at the line. So I think it's like way too small, Nick. So I don't think we'd be able to even identify that, right? Because it's so small that we wouldn't be able to see that it pushed up that much. Like it's just way too tiny. But yeah, that was another NPS right there. And there's a lot of entries that came up today. So let's see, we had one, two, three, four, five, and then there's like two more that we missed. So there's like seven entries that came up just from the regular scalps. And then on top of that, we had the PRV, which is a full TP. And then we had the liquidity push over here that was a full TP. So we have like almost 10 entries that have come up today, which is that's a lot of entries for like kind of a crappy day. And you can see the market's not even moving directional. This is like the crazy thing. The crazy thing is that the market is ranging and we were able to identify like 10 entries today. So this is kind of working towards what I was mentioning before. So like I said, our strategies typically work in directional markets, but I'm going to look for a way to make money. I'm always going to look for ways to make money in the market. And that's kind of what I've been like working on over the weekend. And that's why I put together the divergence indicator. I just pulled it out of our momentum indicator and I kind of played with it to have the settings work in our favor. So yeah, you can see the market's been ranging pretty much all day, but we still have like a ton of entries that came up. And it looks like a lot of you guys here locked in some pretty good profit too. So I'm happy for that. And yeah, we'll keep adapting with this market. It's such a weird market that we're in because the market's typically moving directional for this time of the year, but it's in a big range. So we'll keep looking for these things here. So we currently have a bullish divergence. This is going to confirm a retracement. If the divergence shifts below again, like I said earlier, this could confirm that price is likely to continue falling even lower. The cool thing with this divergence is that even though market's not going anywhere, you can kind of see where the small directions are pushing. And the ATR is currently 26, so there is some movement here. There just isn't any direction. But you can see over here on the clean chart, it's not really, I mean, it's hard to work with. As long as you guys can see where the shorter term direction is here. Madhu's asking if we missed an NPS. Yeah, it happened right here, Madhu, but it happened at this really small green candle. So it was hard to tell if it was going to close green or not. Because it closed right at the level at the 100 mark. All right, Kenneth said calling today. He's happy with his profits. See y'all tomorrow. Definitely, Kenneth. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Yeah, if you guys are happy with your profits, then this is the divergence right here. Yeah, Rashid. Or let's see if it actually did it cross already? Let me check. No. So this is the divergence candle right here. I'm not going to take this, but I'm just going to test it because we're testing the strategy. This could also be a high-low scalp. I mean, if it closed below this level right here, then I would be kind of okay with taking it. Because that'd be a high-low scalp with divergence. But yeah, this right here is the divergence. It has to close like with the red above it though, which it did. Okay, so this is the divergence right here. I'm not in the position, guys. I just want to mark it up for you guys so that we can follow it. But this is the divergence setup that we were looking for. It's currently at the support, so it's kind of tricky. It's in a fake out area right here. So you guys can see how these confluences kind of like tying with each other. You're like, okay, let me see if there's like structure here that I should possibly avoid. And that's why if it closed lower, I would have been more okay with it, but it didn't. So, I mean, if anything, if you want to put a sell stop right there, you can probably catch it. Like it's in drawdown right now, but if it swings back down, the odds of this actually blasting through is very likely. I also wouldn't take it if the divergence is so tight like this. You guys can see how the divergence is like not super spread out. Like I would want it to be something like this right here. So let me just zoom out a little bit. Oh, there it goes. Did exactly what I just said, right? Oh my life. Sorry, guys. I should have put that down there. I was like, man, I should put a sell stop. I literally called that was gonna happen. I was like, price isn't drawdown, but if it pulls down, you can put your sell stop right there. And I didn't do it. I should have done it, but it's okay. That would have been a FOMO move for me personally because I already knew it was kind of risky. But going back to what I was saying, I want to see divergence like this, right? I want to see a big divergence. I don't want to see something small like this. Like this divergence is cool, but it's like you have to really zoom in to see if it crossed, right? See this right here? I had to zoom in like max zoom to see if it crossed right there. But yeah, when the divergence is pretty clear like this right here, this is better. It's way better because you don't have to worry about it. You're not like, oh, did it actually diverge or is it like still flat? But yeah, nice work, guys, for whoever caught it. Nick got it. Nick got it. Of course, Nick got it. Slick move there. So Nick got it. Nikki got it. Maddie got it. iPhone got it. Yeah, Madhu said I was 2 seconds away from setting up my sell stop. I know, me too. It's all good. We found something new here. So moving forward, I think this is going to be a really cool tool for us to use, as a confluence. But yeah, for the most part, I think here looks pretty solid overall. I mean, we might get another one. So we might get another retracement here, and then it might, yeah, exactly. Sadie said I'm done for the day getting FOMO. Yeah, me too. I think I might be done as well. It's 7:30 right now, so it's getting closer to 7:40, which is my cutoff time anyways. So I might be, I mean, there's a lot of entries that came up today. That's crazy how many entries came up. Like over 10 entries showed up during this live session. And it's not even a directional market, it's a sideways market. And the crazy thing is we didn't even take any CV entries. We were just looking at everything else. Which yeah, I think would be super beneficial. Well, I mean, it's beneficial for us, of course, over here. There's another C. I don't know if I think we did look at this one right here too. There's a CV entry that came up right here. I think we did identify that. I just don't know why I didn't mark it up. But there was a CV entry here because price pushed up. We had a high here with a green candle. It was a double body. Then it came down. All right, so we're currently at the Asia high right now. The session's down below. Let's see what we got over here. I mean, profits are pretty decent so far. So again, right here, this might be another so you guys can see the divergence here. The divergence is currently bullish, but if it shifts back below, it could come down further. The only problem is that it's right at the sessions. So you probably have to wait for the next candle. It's probably gonna be the second candle after this one, if it closes below the sessions. If it doesn't, then the divergence over here will yeah, exactly. So Nick just said, watch how the divergence moves on the sessions. See how it's a big spike right there? That's another tool right there too. To see how, how the divergence reacts to the sessions down there. Oh, it's crazy, huh, Nick? The divergence pretty much predicted. Yeah, the divergence predicted the bounce here. So you can see that it started to diverge on this red candle right here. And then on this one right here, it like literally bounced directly off it. I'm kind of curious now. I kind of want to look at when price bounced off like other structures. No, it didn't happen there. Not as much. I don't think price hit the sessions anytime soon or anytime recently. Kind of happened right here a little bit. But that's pre-market. Pre-market's not really as useful. All right. Well, let's see what happens here if it ends up coming back below it. Yeah, you guys can see how these candles are getting really flat. That's because it's getting closer to 740. That's why I stopped trading at 740. So timestamp right here, 740. This is usually where I stop trading, and this is why. As you can see, there's no more direction, or there's not even direction, there's just no more movement. As this continues to, obviously go sideways here. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, we'll continue to hang out for a little bit longer. Let's take a look at everybody's profits so far. So looking at everybody's profits here, we have Andreas with a total profit of 3,340 for the day. Nice work, Andreas. We have Kenneth here with a total profit of 2,700 per account. He has 2 accounts here, so well over 5,000 for the day. Nice work, Kenneth. We have Casey over here at a total profit of 776 for the day. Nice work, Casey. We got Madhu here, total profit of 100 for the day. Nice work, Madhu. I know you're trying to claw your way back up on that account. We got Johnny here as well, total profit of 2,700 per account. He has 5 accounts here. So we'll say 2,000, 4,000, 5, 6, 7, about 7,000 for the day. Nice work, Johnny. All wins. And here goes my account over here. Let's see. Yeah, there's nothing going on here. I just want to make sure we're not missing out on anything before I get to adding these profits up. So 900 times 20 plus 195. So 18,000 for the day. And then for the week, let's see, I'm going to add the 1914s first. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 1914 times 9 plus 1814 plus 1714 plus 2014 plus 1814 plus 1714 1714 1714 plus 1914. Oh, I already got that one. 1814 plus 1414 plus 405. All right, so here are my profits for the day and the week so far. Not too bad. So plus what is it? Plus 1895 for the day, and then plus 33,357 for the week. Okay, so there are my profits so far for the day. 18,195 for the day, 33,357 for the week. All wins here. Price is still sitting at the session, so it's not really looking like much is going to happen here. We did get the divergence cross over here, but it was at the session. So for me personally, I would avoid this trade. I mean, if you guys wanted to take something risky, of course, that's up to you. But you know, I'm still sticking to my guts with the sessions over here, because the sessions are always going to be tricky. I think this is still going to be an area of what we would call manipulation. So, I mean, I'll mark it up. It's marked up right there. This is tricky because, you know, a lot of things can happen at this point that people have no control over. And that's not the type of entry I personally would want to be stuck in. Williams said, good job to them getting off early to watch the mentorship vid. I've been away for a week and missed out. See you all tomorrow. Yeah, definitely, William. We'll see you back here tomorrow. So yeah, just review the mentoring video from yesterday. I covered the divergence more in detail in that video. And we'll continue to cover it. So this isn't the only time we're covering it. You know, as we adapt with the market, we'll keep using it. But again, this is why I don't trade at the sessions, because you get price manipulation. So yeah, other than that, let's see if there's anything else here that I'm missing. We got some more team profits here. So we got Natasha, total profit of 214 for the day. Nice work, Natasha. We got Maddie over here. Total profit of 3,160 on 2 accounts. We had 6,000 right there. Basically 7,000 for the day. Nice work right there, Maddie. We got Rye over here. A lot of profits, about 1,600 on 1 account. And then he has all his other PA accounts over here with 600 each. So we'll do like 600. We'll do like 655. 65 times 20 plus 1,000. So he made about 14,000 for the day. Nice work, Ryan. Great work, guys, so far. Other than that, I think that might be it. All right, guys, so it's 7:40 right now. That's my cue to pretty much wrap it up for the day, because I think price is just going to go sideways here around the sessions, and it's not really going to be the best. Well, if this closes with the buy signal, this is going to meet that criteria that Madhu was mentioning earlier. Not looking like it, but the divergence is bullish. But it looks like the candle here kind of just died down. Momentum just died down on this next candle here. Let's see. Madhu said, I wonder if engulfing candles with the trend is something to be looked at, as well with the CB entry. So with the CB, I personally only trade in the direction of the trend. Yeah. So for me personally, I do trade in the direction of the trend. The engulfing, I personally wouldn't take it. Well, I used to take engulfing before, but that's what I came up with the CD. So the CD is actually an opposite of engulfing. So like you look for a smaller candle versus a bigger one. The bigger one would be engulfing, but for us, we're looking for the smaller, which would be opposite of engulfing. And that's kind of where I found my edge with that specific strategy because everybody's looking for engulfing, right? Engulfing is like one of the most common strategies, most common reversal strategies that people follow. So in order for me to get my edge with that type of entry, I'm actually looking for something opposite of everybody else. So everybody's looking for the engulfing. I'm actually looking for the smaller than engulfing. Well, the engulfing is like on the opposite side. So, I mean, you can use, like, if you want to look at it, feel free to look at it. I haven't really tested it as much. Like maybe there's other factors to look at. But for the specific entry, I just look for basically an opposite engulfing. And I also use a trend. Oh, so there goes your entry right there, I'm gonna do. Buy signal right there. Again, it's close to the sessions. I just be careful whenever price is near the sessions because you can see here, and it's also past 740. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if price goes back and forth for a while. I mean, technically, this would have been the entry. Looks like it almost hit TP, and it probably will. Probably will eventually push up higher. It might just reject off the sessions here again and push right back up. But this here does meet your criteria for the bullish momentum being in the direction of the divergence. The only problem is that there's no volatility here, so you're probably going to get sideways movement, probably hit your TP, and then pull back into this area here. It's just not something I would personally mess with. And it looks like it's about to hit TP right there, full TP. So there you go, Madhu. Another, I don't know, we'll find a name for this. We'll just call it like, yeah, it's basically a momentum scalp with divergence. You can just call it that. But that's nice. It worked out perfect. All right. Nick said momentum divergence. Well, that's what this strategy is going to be called down here. So we can't call it that. I mean, it would be nice, but it'd have to have a small little change to it. MD2. Yeah. Or we just call it a momentum scalp version 2, right? Because that's typically what it is. It's momentum scalp. It's just using the divergence as a confluence. So, all right, guys. I think that's it for the day. We'll keep looking for these entries tomorrow. I think this will be great because if this is the case, then we can start looking for pivot scalps again. I know we haven't looked for pivot scalps in a while, but that's like one of Kip's favorite strategies. Kip here right now? I don't think he's here. Yeah, Kip, that's one of his main strategies that he applies. That's how he got leaderboard on TFF for like so many months. Just take the pivot scalps. Madhu said his girlfriend said name it after him. Yeah, we're gonna call it Madhu. We're just gonna call it the Madhu. That works. All right, guys. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I think that's it for all the profits for the day. If you guys have more profits to post up, feel free to send them in. I think we had a great day so far. Over 12 entries in in a ranging market. This isn't even a directional day. We had a ton of entries that came up. So. All right, guys, if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I will see you guys back here tomorrow for the next live session. I'll work on this indicator. Hopefully I can get it out to you guys by the end of this week, if not next week. But yeah, I had to get in touch with my brother. So, all right, guys, if you guys have any questions, reach out. Otherwise, I'll see you guys